What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. Yesterday, I didn't play any NBA. I had a top play in college basketball. Houston first half was a winner, and then couldn't quite get there on the NFL game. First half over. Cowboys left too many points on the field in that first half. So it was a slightly profitable day for myself, Rob Veno. It was a nice start to college basketball. How you doing today? How's everything for you?
Things are good, Ski. It was a good college basketball day here as well. 3-2 right out of the gate. Solid plays. It wasn't very good in the NBA though. 0-2 yesterday. NBA. I know the one that stung the most was having the Portland team total over and them falling short. Without Luca or Austin Reeves in the lineup last night, again, we texted real briefly about it, but this NBA injury report, you're even on the good side of all of that stuff and you can't get a win. I know you jokingly texted back Lakers will win now. We've seen this one before. Take all the stars
Exactly.
out and the other team wins. It's
Exactly.
it defies all logic, and I don't know, that one hurt a little bit, but we'll look to get it right here tonight on this 6 game card.
I mean, my friend Dutch, he had the Lakers +3, and then he saw everybody got ruled out, and he was so mad. I could see it all over his face. I'm like, it's all right, bro. You see all the time when this happens, Lakers still could win. It's okay. And you know what I
Oh, and it
think it
was
is?
easy.
I think it's like, I mean, it makes sense, kind of. I mean, it shouldn't be this way. You should get max effort from everybody every day. But we've heard guys like Draymond say, when you look on the other side and you don't see the main guys over there, a lot of that energy you had to play that game and play that matchup goes out the window. And then on the flip side, you got guys, getting an opportunity. Like the point guard that the Lakers had out there, he had the flu. He was throwing up at halftime. He was like, I don't care. I got my opportunity. I'm getting out there. And he made the most of it. So you get stuff like that, just effort, high effort versus low effort in those situations. I think that's what we're seeing. Um, but yeah, outside of that, we got a nice 6 game slate here, Rob. So yeah, Nick Smith. Shout out to Nick Smith. I gotta say his name the way he was balling yesterday. Anything for you, Vino, before we get to it?
No, you covered it, buddy. The only thing I'll say, and it is kind of a subjective theory that we're throwing out there, but in my case, when the other side is Portland and you realize the Lakers stars, right, you think that would jack Portland up a little bit. They're not one
Well,
of those veteran teams that's always in the playoffs, but it didn't. And it's
very
been
true.
what it's been for 3 years, Ski. I should maybe if we go back to COVID, I mean, when you and I started doing shows together for Wager Talk, maybe it's been that long since we've noticed stars down, run to the window with the other side. Not an issue.
Yeah, I think we're getting some guys maybe ruled out today too. So let's talk about it. Let's see what we got. Let's refresh that injury report before we get started, and we will go in rotation order like we always do. That means first up, the Bucks playing again here versus the Raptors. Open Raptors -3. I saw it go up to about 4.5. Giannis got ruled in, I believe, or Giannis was. Let me see. Giannis is listed as probable, and it goes down to 3. Obviously, no KPJ yet, still for them. And then Jakob Pertl, they could be getting him back for Toronto. And versus a guy like Giannis, you need some paint protection desperately. But who's to say Giannis even plays? I mean, they did play yesterday. We've already seen him one time this year go from it was either probable to out or just normal to out. Um, it absolutely can happen, especially here on a back to back. I don't know if you know. This game was not my favorite, but to see Toronto -3, I mean, they did just lose to this team, and they're -3 again here. Like, that's just standing out to me. It's making me think that they're favored for a reason. So I don't have a whole lot on this other than that. If I was betting on somebody for Milwaukee, I'd probably actually just wait for the injury report to finish. So either Raptors or stay off. What do you think, Vino?
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, my first thought here, and I had it yesterday on the show, and it was correct. I mean, when we came on yesterday, Luca was scheduled to play, and I had mentioned, Luca might not even play a second of back to backs, and he wound up not playing. And it's what I immediately thought of with Giannis. And then I saw Giannis listed as probable now. And I thought, well, maybe this is a new year for Milwaukee. Maybe they're going after games early. But I would wait on it because the Austin Reeves info didn't come until much later yesterday. So we don't know for sure. I know Toronto's going to play with a lot of pace, Skee, to use a comp game. We saw it last night, Miami, even in second of back to backs, pace against methodical. In that Clippers case, Miami forced a bunch of turnovers and wound up winning that game outright. Now, Milwaukee's not methodical, but if Giannis doesn't play, I don't trust those guys against Toronto's tempo. So wouldn't want to lay three. My secondary thought is to go toward total, perhaps even Toronto team total over. Toronto's going to score. Toronto's going to push. But where side is concerned, the Jakob Pertl injury does inhibit their rim defense. So there's a lot of questions and concerns in this game. Rather wait and see. But I know that Toronto will try and wear Milwaukee out with pace since Milwaukee's in the second of back to back.
Yeah, we'll see. This is definitely one you gotta wait because I could just see some fishy stuff and Giannis still getting ruled out late. Shout out to you, Capper, in the chat. He's been hot. He was hot all of October, and he's reminding everybody to hit the like button. So appreciate you out there, RC. All right, I do have a few plays today, Rob Veno. That first game I just did not like. A couple other plays I'm willing to talk out and open my wallet too. This next game, Magic in Atlanta, it could be one. Opened up -3 for the Magic. Looks like 3.5. Total hasn't really moved. Mo Wagner out, Trey Young out. Um, this Magic team, we saw to start the year, they were playing fast. They weren't playing any defense. Jamal Mosley, and a couple post game interviews ago, he was just saying we got to sit down and guard. Like he was just talking about defense the entire time. And we've seen their defense pick up a little bit, and we've seen them pace slow a little bit as well. For Atlanta, without Trey Young, you would think the pace slows. Offense likely gets a little worse. My initial thought here was under Ravino, but the more I thought about it, when I'm watching Atlanta now without Trey, they getting the rebound, and whoever grab it, they're going. And yeah, if they do that tonight versus Orlando, get out in transition, Orlando struggles. Their transition defense has not been good. So if Atlanta pushes them in that regard, they can have success. And Jamal Mosley did emphasize, you know, the pace that he's talking about is when they get stops. They want to get out and run immediately. So I do think you'll get some pace in this game. Will we get enough offense to get over? How do you see it, Vino?
Well, I bet the Orlando side. I thought there's a bit of revenge for the game they played to start the season. Remember, these are the two teams that are supposed to contend for the Southeast Division title. I happen to have a ticket on Orlando to win that division this year, but Atlanta came to Orlando, second game of the season. Atlanta wins that one, 111-107. Pretty good defensive job by the Orlando Magic in that game. Held the Hawks to only 8 3-pointers on 29 attempts. Held them to 111 points, but they didn't score in that one. I think they returned the favor here tonight. I like what you said about their defense turning a corner a little bit, so to speak. Charlotte and Washington, as far as what their styles are nothing but pace and scoring. I mean, Charlotte and Washington don't strike you as defensive teams, but they strike you as offensive teams. And those are two that Orlando held down to 107 and 94. So to see them play good defense here against the Hawks, I wouldn't be surprised. There was an interesting quote that I was going to get to here from Franz Wagner of Orlando, who said the way the season started, we needed to improve on defense as well. But long term, offense is where we've got the biggest room for improvement. So on the floor, they're thinking they're still not scoring enough. which is kind of interesting here. I think Atlanta, you can get into scoring matches with them, and without Trey, I really don't trust them. However, again, we started the broadcast or the show here by talking about teams without stars coming through with victories. Trey's injury is long term. I don't think Atlanta's going to benefit from this long term injury. I did play, however, and like I say, the premise of the play was a revenge for Orlando. It's divisional. I don't think they want to go 0-2 to this team. Any tiebreaker at the end of the year, that would hurt. So I'm on the Orlando side playing a little better defense, and I think probably just as good on offense. We'll see how Alexander Walker handles the point guard duties now for this team. Certainly not Trey Young. As far as creating goes, Trey's such a great lane penetrator, an alley oop guy, et cetera, assist guy. I don't know that Alexander Walker's the same guy.
I agree, and I did look at a lot of props in this one. Um, Guys in the chat looking at props too. SF Niner says Franz over his point prop. UCapper says Dyson Daniels. I looked at Dyson. Dyson has been good. He the two games he's played without Trey, he scored 18 points in both of them. And last year he did a lot more scoring. I think he went over this 13 and a half every game last year without Trey. But last year they also didn't have Alexander Walker, right? And he's been filling it up too. Both of them have really been hitting their prop. It's hard for me to choose. And if I'm liking, everybody to score, it seems like I would like an over in the game. But again, you're liking these props because it's a lot of minutes to go around when Trey Young is not out there. In that regard, too, they need Jalen Johnson more. JB likes Jalen Johnson points and rebounds, but I'm going rebounds and assists. I can see both, but to what I was saying earlier, they grab the rebound and they go. And he's grabbing a lot of rebounds for this team. He had 13, I think, the past two games. So I see him grabbing them, getting out in transition where the Magic are weak, and hopefully kicking it up to some of these guys. Without Trey, you get that minutes boost. I think this season it went up from about 32 minutes to 37, something like that. And then you look at the two games so far without Trey, his rebounds assist line is 14 and a half. He had 21 versus the Pacers. He had 18 versus the Cavs. You can go back last year without Trey, two more games, 22 versus Celtics, 19 versus the Grizzlies. They're going to have to rely on Jalen Johnson a lot in this game. And so I'll bet his rebounds and assists, 14 and a half. Let's see. Anything else we have here before we keep going? Gilbert doesn't think JJ hits a three. Star Child reminding everybody to hit the like button. Appreciate that. All right, let's keep going here. Next game up, Veno. Hornets and Pelicans. And it opened -1.5. Wow, we must have some injury news. We now see -4.5. And did we get anything here? We must have got something. LaMelo literally right now just got ruled out. So I figured he would get ruled out. He didn't play last game. That same ankle that he always hurts, lingering injury again. Now, Zion is still questionable. We don't know if Zion is going to play. But if he does, I feel like this is a slam dunk. I already played the Pelicans just to win at -140. Obviously, I'm seeing 5.5 now. It's going to go up. You might want to open your wallet and get in right now before all of these lines go up. But the Pelicans have not won a game yet this season. But their competition has been tough, Like when I look at who both of these teams have played, I got it right here. Schedules. So when I look at who both of these teams have played, let's look at the Hornets. Hornets had the Jazz, the Timberwolves, the Magic, the Wizards, the Sixers, the Nets, the Heat. They ain't been playing nobody, and they still haven't been looking great. You look at they're 3-4, playing nobodies. You look at the Pelicans, they have played the Thunder, Clippers, the Nuggets, Celtics, Spurs, Grizzlies. It seems like a hell of a lot more competition to me. And the game versus Celtics, they didn't even have Zion. So it's a tough schedule out the gate for the Pelicans team with some new pieces, dealing with some injuries. Now, though, you're at home seeing this Hornets team without LaMelo out there. The Hornets are 3-23 without LaMelo, straight up. last season, Rob Veno. They don't have Brandon Miller. I mean, that playmaking is going to be ass. Eh, Colin Sexton, I like him, but Miles Bridges, he could score, but it's not going to be enough here. I like the Pelicans. I took the Pelicans. And if Zion gets rolled out, I might also double up on Trey Murphy, PRA. What do you think about this one, Vino?
Yeah, can't argue at all. I mean, without LaMelo, it's kind of a different team in Charlotte. It's interesting that the last three games, their scoring output, two of the last three games, excuse me, their scoring output has gone down considerably. I kind of like the New Orleans team total to go over in this game. Orlando's been just a miserable defensive team, as has the Pelicans, by the way. I mean, between these two teams, I think there's only two games in regulation where they've allowed less than 120. So it's tough to think that Charlotte's in any way, shape, or form is going to stop New Orleans from scoring. However, sometimes those numbers get a little bit big here. And for the Pelicans, it's the first home after a 3-game road trip. Something we look at a little bit, probably a minor detail here because the injuries on the other side override maybe the first home game back. But I think in some capacity, if I was going to play, I would look towards the Pelicans and mainly towards their team total. I just think this is a chance for them. When you mentioned they were 0-6, I'll just jump on that a little bit. I think that this is a step down in class for them where they can absolutely put points on the board. The number was 119 and a half. I think they get to 120. So if I'm going to play, it's going to be Pelicans team total over, and we'll go from there.
All right, I like it. I like it. And I'm on them Pellies today. I got in early. I knew LaMelo wasn't going to play. We'll see if Zion still plays. He's still questionable, so we shall see. Next game, Chicago and Philly. Open up -1 for the Bulls. Still there. Total open 239. Looks like 240. As far as the injuries, Barlow, George both out for Chicago. I thought the Sumo was out. Did they upgrade him to questionable? I could have sworn I saw him out. But yeah, I don't know. I swear I saw they must have upgraded him to questionable today. He's questionable. Zach Collins is out, and Kobe White. Kobe White also out. So that kind of messes up my handicap a little bit. I mean, I took Josh Giddey over his rebounds and assists, really because with no Kobe White and no Desumo, it's a lot of minutes to go around, and he's the engine for this team anyway. So I would like it if Desumo does not play. I'm pretty sure he was listed as out, and now he's questionable. So pretty annoying. But Giddey's had 18 plus rebounds and assists the last 4 games anyway. A few of those games, Desumo did play, and you never know. He could just only play limited minutes tonight, and Giddey still has to go out there and carry the big load. So versus Sixers, soft defense on a back-to-back, Vino, that was the direction that I chose in this one. How do you see 76ers and Bulls?
Well, if you're looking at player props, I mean, the three names that just continue to perform for the Sixers, no matter what the circumstances, are Maxi, Edgecombe, and Oubre. Those three guys have just dominated offensively so far this season for this team, whether it's in a game where Embiid plays or whether it's a game where Embiid sits. Really doesn't matter. I'm more interested in the Chicago psyche, though, Skee. They were undefeated, went to New York to play the Knicks in that rematch. The Knicks were waiting for them. They had lost in Chicago, and the Knicks gave them their first loss. And I wonder how Chicago handles the first loss here. Things have been going really well. The Sixers have been, here's the problem with the Sixers. Every single game they're involved in, or basically every single game they're involved in, they have to come from behind. They get behind in every game. These fourth quarter, at some point, it's not going to happen. But right now, it's a team that gives you the full 48. No double-digit lead in the fourth quarter is too much for them to stop fighting for, and they've come back in a number of situations. So the number here of Chicago -1 at home was interesting to me. Just seems way off base. I don't know why we're giving Philadelphia so much credit on the road. especially a team, like I say, that has been behind in most all of their games in the fourth quarter. So, slight lean here towards the Bulls to regroup. Like I say, I'm a somewhat concerned, and maybe that's just fabricated in my head about them losing a game and seeing if they can bounce back. But I think they should be able to here tonight. Remember, Billy Donovan, and we've repeated it 3 or 4 times, but he has placed an emphasis on some physicality and defense, and Philadelphia has done neither of those. So I think at home, only laying 1 point, Bulls are probably the right side. I may get to the window with this one, not positive yet.
All right, fair enough. Let's keep going down the list. Um, McCain active. You kept reminding us of that, so that would change the rotation up a little bit for the Sixers team. We'll see what he looks like in his debut. Next game, we are gonna go in the lap. Oh, I think I skipped one. So we will skip this one and I'll add a banner. We'll go Thunder and Clippers right now. Open -5 for OKC, looks like 7. Total came down from 222.5 to 221.5. And as far as injuries are concerned, we do have Jimmy Butler now questionable. Horford is out, Melton's out, Tuhay's out. For Phoenix, no Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green. Livers is questionable. Dunn is probable. Oh, I messed that up, Vino. I messed that up, Vino.
Which one
I
you
was
want to do?
I was reading the game that I got to make the banner for. So, OKC and Clippers. My bad. Dort questionable. AJ Mitchell questionable. Is this that's Jalen Williams questionable? Topic: Kenrick Williams and J Dub are all out for the Clippers. Bill is questionable. Kawhi is questionable. Miller and Sanders are doubtful. So I'm gonna pass this one to you real quick, Vino, while I fix my mistakes.
All right. So logically, again, perfect logic tells you the Thunder are probably a play here, and the number's been bet up from 5 all the way to 7, some 7.5. Clippers on a back-to-back, played the fastest paced team in the NBA last night. They're going to face a team that will utilize pace in this game, and the Clippers just have not handled quick teams at all so far this season. Oklahoma City still undefeated, despite the injuries that they've been through, come to play every single night. I think the Lou Dort illness is a reason why I'm not there yet. I mean, you need all the defense you can get here. The Clippers actually have Beal and Kawhi listed for potential rest. If that happens, maybe it benefits the Clippers Skee. Maybe you take a couple of older guys out of the lineup. I'm not so sure, but I don't think there's much in the way of a defense for the Clippers other than getting 7.5 at home is probably too much for me to lay. But again, all logic would tell you that the way this game is going to be played, Oklahoma City should win. There should be a spurt at some time where they create margin separation. They're known for it. And I think they take these games pretty seriously still in watching them. Now, they haven't covered more than 500. They're not a better than 500 ATS team, but the last two have been pretty sizable wins for OKC. Could be rounding into form a little bit. I would just wait on Lou Dort. To me, that's it. That's a real important injury there because he's so key to that defense.
Good points there. This is a game that I'm not gonna get too involved with. So we'll move it on over to the next one. And that is, and by the way, SF49er said, what happened in tennis, bro? I got money on it. No, UCapper's talking about those old guys with the walkers with the tennis balls on the bottom. He said, put them on a hell no list. That's what UCapper says. All right.
They don't look good.
Look, I'm not talking about tennis. Ski knows 100%. All right. Last game. Man, I'm dying. Can't wait till I feel better. Phoenix and Golden State opened at -10 for Golden State. Looks like 9.5 or 10, depending where you shop. Total open 231.5. Looks like 232.5 for the Warriors. I mean, I told you guys already. Jimmy's questionable. Horford out. Melton out. Tuhey out. For the Suns, Dunn probable. Livers questionable. Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green both out. I'm gonna just keep it simple here. You can't get the number I got anymore because props change when guys like Jimmy Butler become questionable. but I did take Kaminga over 5.5 rebounds. Um, really, I mean, he probably gonna get even more with Jimmy out too. He's probably gonna do a lot more of everything. If you wanted to take assist, PRA, whatever, I'm not mad at that either. But without Horford was the main look in this one for me. Um, just looking at the games without Horford specifically, get back here. My bad. Rebounds. So he had 8 rebounds and he had 10 rebounds. But just looking at the opportunities, like 17 rebound chances, 13 rebound chances. So in my mind, that's 30. Like you're asking him to get less than 50% of his rebound chances. Like I think that's absolutely doable, especially when you're missing a big. So Kaminga over it's 6.5 now. I still think that's gonna hit. But if you want to do PRA, like I said, I'm not mad at that. As far as the game, you know what, Vino? If Jimmy Butler misses this game, yes, you're gonna miss some free throws. You're gonna miss some points a little bit. You're also gonna miss some defense, and your pace will increase. These Warriors like to play up tempo. They like to move the ball. Jimmy's the one guy who likes to play a little bit slower. So if he's out and that total comes down, I could be interested in an over. Um, what do you think about that, Vino?
Well, I think a lot of that because I got there with this total over. I just a couple of things here, Ski. Golden State's last two games, both on the road, their offense didn't really perform well. That Indiana game still is kind of a head scratcher, only scoring 109 against Indiana. And even prior to that, a couple of games, offense hadn't been there. I think it bounces back here tonight against a Phoenix defense that hasn't been good. Everything that they preached. We got Dylan Brooks. We're going to, he's kind of an enforcer. We're going to be tougher physically, blah, 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 blah. They're getting caught in these high scoring games, the Phoenix Suns are. And I feel like Golden State back home looking to get their offense right. If Jimmy doesn't play, you're probably correct. It probably goes a little bit quicker, but the small lineup anyway is going to go quicker and force Phoenix into pace with them. If Golden State gets out in front, Phoenix has to play catch up. It really goes fast, I think, at that point. So for me, again, style of play, matchups make fights, et cetera, et cetera. I just thought this one was going to be played at a higher tempo. And I'm always looking for, these really good offensive teams that haven't shown well the last couple of games, looking for a bounce back. This is the perfect team to bounce back against in Phoenix. Um, Technical foul battle between Draymond and Brooks. Can we get a prop on that? Something's
He's
going to
not playing
happen.
though. Maybe he'll get one from the bench still.
I mean, it's been done before. But for me, obviously, like I said earlier, I've already played this game over. So if it comes down, I've probably got the wrong side of the line. If it comes down due to Jimmy's absence, but I don't know that it would affect my bet here at 232.5.
So 232.5 over, right?
Yeah.
All right. I like it. I might be there with you. If I see Jimmy out, I'm gonna have to push that button. Um, good stuff, That is the NBA card. We didn't have too much today. So we will go ahead and before we move it to best bets, I will put this up, remind everybody it is $5 Tuesday. And you want to rock with Rob or myself, we should both have a play up and available on our page. And outside of that, I'm pretty sure we can still do a little weekend warrior, right? Um,
Yes.
and I know you've been really good in NFL. Um, you won in college as well. So make sure, my bad, you guys. Make sure you guys go check out Rob Veno. You can get all football plays for only $49. And for myself, I'm gonna be prop heavy. I've cashed 6 out of 8 props in the NFL this week. I mean, sorry, this season. My top plays are also 8 and 4. So if you want to rock with me, that's a way you can do it as well. I'm gonna pass it to you. It's best bet time. If you have anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, the promotions are what they are for today, Ski. The $5 Tuesday, obviously a big one all the time. Weekend Warrior, once again. 3 days worth of football, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, for the reduced price of $49. They've been running that every week, so it's been a big hit with folks out there. I'll go back earlier. I like the revenge angle with Orlando here. I think that they expected to win that first home game. They didn't. They get an opportunity without Trey Young. I'm hoping this is not one of those instances where the star doesn't play and, Atlanta at home comes through. But I just think Orlando has got their focus back a little bit on the defensive end. If it gets into a scoring battle, they've been able to score here. We'll see. But I just think that 3.5 was a pretty good number in this spot. So it's more of a situational play than anything else. A little bit of fundamental because Trey is a better playmaker than anybody else on that Atlanta roster. So give me Orlando minus 3.5 as the best bet for the show.
All right, good stuff from Rob Veno. For myself, a few of my lines have already moved, and I like to give you guys what I can take, or the same thing that I've taken. So I will go with Jalen Johnson over 14 and a half rebounds plus assists. Um, like I said earlier, he's boarding like crazy at 13 the past 2 games. They need him out there to play make to score. Without Trey Young, he's getting extra minutes, and without Trey Young out there, whoever gets that rebound is pushing. And like I said, Magic's transition defense is poor. I can see him finding some people out in transition, racking him some assists. So Jalen Johnson over 14 and a half rebounds plus assists. Vino, appreciate you taking the time to cap these games with me. Helps out my process. I'm sure you help everybody else out as well. People in the chat, we appreciate you. Good cappers, good people, and we all just help each other win. So, man, it's time for me to go drink some tea and orange juice and get myself together. And I will catch you guys again tomorrow.